Let's have a quick look at this simple C program. Its most basic features are the comments, which must be placed in this format. First you write slash, then asterisk, then your text, then you close it by an asterisk and slash symbol. Here you place mainly explanatory text on what your program does or part or sections of your program. It must be in this format, otherwise it will be interpreted as errors or text of unknown purpose, okay? The next one are preprocessor directives, which are recognizable by a preceding number symbol. Preprocessor directives are not really code, but rather configuration of your program. The preprocessor is a program that replaces lines of directives by equivalent text, or include files that contain required functions, which are necessary to accomplish generic tasks that have been already designed, so you don't need to do step-by-step processes. Directives can be, well, for instance, let's take this include directive. It includes this file called standard input output library. It's also called as library. That contains certain functions that are already designed to accomplish tasks. Namely, we are going to use printf function, which displays these messages on the screen. So it's already an already designed function. We're going to use it for easy of our program. Okay, the next aspect is reserved words. Reserved words are any of these words or identifiers that refer to either preprocessor instructions, directives, sorry, like this, or any other characteristics of C language to define data or forms of control. At this time it's hard to know, but later we'll see the list. There are a few set of reserved words. To summarize, you can't use these words to name your data. So we're going to learn them so we don't make mistakes when naming our data. The next one is variable declaration. This is how you create data. You first have to specify the type of this data and a name. So I'm going to use a particular data and I'm going to call it numb, but I have to specify first what type of data is going to store. I'm going to place here, to store here, numbers. So int stands for a whole number, so with no fractional part. So that is what type of data I'm going to store here and what name I'm going to give it. The next one is a function. So we have the main function here. A function is a group of statements that performs a task step by step. To specify a function, the format must be first the type of data that it will return once it's all of the operations are done. Then you must specify a name, and thereafter parentheses. Within this parentheses, you must place the type of data and the name of data that this function is going to take. What it is, you can put some input data here. So your function is going to perform those operations according to the values of this data. It may not be the case, like in this example. We are not going to take any values, but we are going to do these operations independently. So whenever you are not using any input data as arguments, they are called technically arguments, you just leave this parenthesis blank, or you may write the word void. What's next? Of course, after this parenthesis, you place two curly brackets, one opening curly brackets and then the closing curly bracket, which will hold the series of statements or operations, because a function is a set of operations that do a particular task. And it's finished by the return statement, which specify which value which value is going to be returned once it's finished every operation. So this return the type of data of this value must be the same that you wrote here. You stated that this main function was going to return a type of numerical value, and this array is a numerical value. So who is going to take this return value? Since the main function communicates with your operating system for this program to be run by your computer, so it actually is going to be received by the operating system. This will be interpreted, this 0, as an OK to mean that it was performed, all of these statements were performed OK and there's no problem. That is to signal in case of any errors happen. So the result of this code will be this next. We are going to basically print this message, hello world, in these double quotes, and since it's called printf, which stands for print formatted, it's going to print these letters in double quotes. And what's the format? This strange \n means, okay, write hello world and then go to the next line. So it's going to the next line and it's going to write this next exactly. Value is, and this is other format specifier, print formatted. What's going to print? There's a %g means for a number. So it's going to print a number. Which number? We specify which number by after the double quotes, placing a comma, and then the number of the variable that holds that type of value, a numeric value. Remember that num was given the value of val that was 12. So num equals to 12. So value is, and go to this value of this data, which is 12. So it's going to say value is 12, and again \n new line. As you can see here, it says program finished with exit code 0. So the value received was 0 as successful.